Hey, good morning. Welcome to, excuse me, office hours for Korean natural farming for June 16th, 2024. Brought to you by Pure KNF Foundation. So, got an hour where you can ask any questions you want on Korean natural farming, whether that is Master Cho's wonderful methods or Young Sang Cho's incredibly cheap and easy methods, or Gil Karangdang, or basically, we kind of cover Elaine Ingham, all the experts, even Rudolf Steiner and those things. I'm not that I'm like super trained in biodynamics or anything, but any of that for a full hour. So what's up? It's good to see everybody tuning in. Thanks for being here this morning, for me at least. And but before we get into it, let's start with a little bit of higher wisdom. So pull this up here, see what today brings. And it is gathering together. To lead others toward the good, one must purify one's own character. The I Ching teaches that the world cannot move toward harmony and well-being unless human beings act in unison. To further what is good and true. Our power as individuals is multiplied when we gather together as families, groups, and communities with common goals. It is our collective strength that makes positive change in the world. However, tremendous power of human collectives must be directed by a qualified leader. The hexagram Tsui encourages you to develop yourself into that leader. Before a person may gather others together to achieve good, they must first gather within themselves proper principles. A leader who is not balanced and collected within himself will always be suspected by his followers. And in the hour when he needs them most, they will hesitate. Therefore, the first task of the potential leader is to accumulate in his own character all that is good and true. In a very real sense, the progress of the world depends upon your thoughts and actions as an individual now. Concentrate, then, on examining and correcting your thoughts, attitudes, and actions. Improve yourself into the kind of person you would wholeheartedly follow without hesitation. Learn to accept the natural progress that occurs when you act in harmony with proper principles, and seek no progress at the expense of these principles. Train yourself to avoid misfortune by anticipating them in advance. By purifying your character in this way and clinging steadfastly to higher things, you lead yourself and others towards well-being and good fortune. So that sounds nice. We just have to improve ourselves, keep doing natural principles, and all will be well as we gather together. So I want to thank you for taking time out of your Sunday, gathering here, being part of this group, gathering together. Got some good things going. I was just on Maui from Thursday till Saturday. I got back last night, doing the thing on Maui, gathering together with them, working with the Farm Apprentice Mentorship Program over there, doing some amazing work. At least I think so. I'm not sure if it really was. It was fun. I'll give it that. In the fact that, turning on the GoPro. Let's see if I can get some photos for you from that. that, going over there, seeing what they got going, um, just, I only had like, what is it, 5 to 8:30 in the evening to teach them on Thursday. So I basically went over the book. So, if that's, if I get a chance to teach, that's what I do. I figure one of the best things to do to start with a limited time frame is to go and go over the book. So we started with this book here, start at the beginning, kind of get them an introduction, tell them where we're going. This ChatGPT summary you can read later, and then the lineage, then get into the solutions, and then how they all fit together in formulas, and then how, the solutions and the formulas come together. And then this chart, I kind of talk about the differences. And one of the things that, I think that is good when I'm teaching just a quick class is that because I call it food, cleanser, medicine, structure, protectors, fuel, minerals, reproduction, is that everyone already intuitively knows what these mean. And I don't have to explain all these acronyms or be like, how do you use FPJ? People would be like, I don't know. But if I say, how do you use food? It's like, probably when it's hungry. How do you use cleanser? And like, probably when there's like mold or soot, or like, I talk about the constipation of the plants and those things. How do you use protectors? And everyone's like, okay, they're already, just by naming the solutions more intuitively, they're already like, yeah, I know how to use structure, right? Especially when you understand that it builds roots, builds the structure of the plant, gives it something to grow on. How do you use medicine? Well, everything needs a little bit of medicine all the time. The herbs, makes the food taste better. And so it's really nice to be able to go in and, be able to download folks pretty quickly and get them up to speed to know, okay, there's a bunch of solutions in here. Obviously, we can't cover them all right now in 2.5 hours, but you can understand how, when you make them all, how they're going to fit together. And then kind of go through the application, the maintenance, and then this gets kind of complex, right? The actual true maintenance, or excuse me, what is it, growth cycle, nutritional cycle, how it really fits together. So I say, just ignore this for now. Just start with food and microbes. And so on Saturday, we got together again from 9 to noon, and we did, we made KNF food. So just as in, we made this together. We made it from guavas. We made it from hono grass. So you can look those things up. And we made it from banana flowers. So we did all 3 growth stages to make foods for. And this was like a fun thing. And when you do 3 different solutions all at once, it's kind of like you get to see the differences between them. And everyone gets hands-on. We had a group of about, let's say 20, 25 people. Put them all in groups, had them all get their hands, sugary and get into the thing, work together, learn teamwork, all that stuff. And then we did in the last 10 to 15 minutes, we did the disgustingly cheap microbes. So this recipe here is so easy. You don't need to know much about it. It's just like, get some water. I teach them what microbially rich indigenous soil is, rich indigenous soil. We do a little bit of potatoes put in there, a little bit of salt. I always put the salt in like this for effect. And then talk about the bubbling, and you're good to go. It's just like dilute it 1 to 20, put it out. You're going to be good. I say dilute 1 to 10, somewhere between 1 to 10, 1 to 20, depending on how rainy it is where you're at. And put it out. Use it immediately. Don't try and store it. And it's like, that's your microbes. Because you could go through the whole, IMO, seed IMO, preserved seed IMO, propagated IMO, foundation IMO, but these take many weeks, and it's a very precise process that if it overheats, or it does what overheats, or you don't pay attention to it, you can grow the wrong microbes. If moisture content's not right, all these things, you can grow the wrong microbes. So this is very, I assume this is a more advanced recipe. So if you've made seed IMO, you've gone through this process and you've done these here, more power to you. Awesome. But I don't try and start students there, especially when I'm just there for, I only have about, 5.5 hours with them. There's no way I'm going to do that. I start real simple, real easy, because otherwise it's like drinking from a fire hose. It's too much. It's like I'm better off to give a little bit at a time and let them, percolate and see how did the food and these microbes affect things. And then later you can come back and do more. I'd rather have a little less, more quality, more information, and then do it. So that's what I did on Maui. Might get the GoPro to boot up here and show you some pictures, but that's what I did this last week. It was good fun. But let's go and see here. We got some questions coming in, I think. We got some people saying, hey, what's up, Christoph, Fox Dog, Fran Sekheka. Hey, man, I haven't seen you before. What's up? We got Rainbow Possum Farm. Aloha from Seattle. Aloha. Man, when I was on Maui, I drank coffee before I did the 5 o'clock class, and I felt like I was sleepless in Maui. Wild. Okay, so František here is diagnosed with Lyme disease. Sorry about that. What sources do you suggest to study to look into concerning the healing aspect of microbes, or whatever else do you think would be worth checking? Thanks a lot. Okay. Well, someone mentioned it down here as the IMO baths. Oh, and you're saying, for example, I know about the baths. Where would one find the best info about this? Okay. This is a great question. And because that I've heard of folks defeating it in a few different ways. Trying to rack my brain right now. I am a little tired from just traveling and being a little unsettled, but I am booting up my other hard drive over here right now. And I just, as that goes, I want to just go back over here to the book. And the basic idea with the IMO bath is that you collect good microbes, so I'm skipping down to the microbe section. You collect good microbes from your forest, then go to the next stage of preserving them. It takes, a couple days for them to kind of ferment in this situation. Then you can go from them into making this IMO pile here. So while my hard drive boots up and we can go look at these IMO baths, this here is, you see these kids down at this bottom picture. Let me put this thing like this. So there's these kids down here mixing this IMO. This is basically a substrate that you're going to inoculate with these solutions right here. 5 gallon walk but I would make about a 200-pound pile, so 100 kilo pile, and get in that so that's enough to bury you. So this isn't this is a graph of temperature. This isn't the actual piles themselves, but the idea is that if you can bury yourself in this substrate as it's heating up, as it gets up to 115, 120. And you bury yourself in there, it can help cook out those pathogens. I don't know. I'll ask, because my wife dealt with she didn't have Lyme disease, but she had some other people that did it. So I just can't think of it right now. A, I'm a little tired, and B, my mind's just like, meh, just came back from a trip, so I'm a little discombobbled here. But I will try and think of that and find the exact solutions. But getting in this IMO pile as the hard drive boots over here, I'll show you what it looks like so you can kind of see what's happening. So yeah. And then Master Cho also talked to us about human health. So let's see here. I'm going to pull this up and go to the YouTube channel, my channel here, and then go down. And I'm just going to search in here under searching in my channel. I'm just going to search for human health. And so one thing that's really good to listen to is here, Uncle David Wong and his healing that he did. he was healing from cancer and some eczema stuff, and restore the kidney, liver, pancreas, lungs by eating clean food. So listening to his story here, and then here's Master Cho talking about human health and the IMO baths and those types of things specifically. And then also, this is again Uncle David Wong talking for 20 minutes on the excuse me, the human health again, talking about that. So these 3 videos I would recommend to watch. So just on Pure KNF Dr. Drake, my channel there, search human health in this little search. Don't use this search up here because that'll search all of YouTube, but this search right here when you're on the channel. I think, are you guys looking at the right screen? I think so. Yeah, you're seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, yeah. So that right there. And then so that's what I'd recommend right now. Oh, here's the IMO bath. I didn't even have to boot those things. Okay, I just had to search my YouTube. It's all there. It's just it's all there. I gotta send this to Sarah, guys. Or not that one, but the other one. Oh, and then another one in this demonstrations here. There's a part where Richard's talking about him doing some fermented fruit juice type stuff and that healing him. So a lot of anecdotal stuff. I'm not making any like official recommendations, but yeah. So this is Uncle David Wong in the IMO pile there. It's another Chinese dude, Taiwanese dude, chilling. And you're basically burying yourself. You see how they're under here, and this Master Cho sitting here. He just did an IMO bath. Justin just did an IMO bath. My other Taiwanese friend, Uncle David Wong, coming out. So kind of put a towel down for your head. I want to mute this a little bit here, but put a towel down underneath. But you see how it's steaming. It's 100, 115, 120 degrees. And you see how he's sweating. There's his hand poking out. Sweating like crazy. And so this is, what you do. You bury yourself in, half hour, 20 minutes, however long you feel comfortable. But I wouldn't recommend staying in there for more than 45 minutes, especially if it's really hot. But this is, him prepping a new spot for someone to get into. This is Mr. Lee here. We're staying at his farm, and so she's gonna go in and get buried here to do this. So he's gonna help her out. She fold the towel like this. Very important. I also recommend putting a towel right under the small of your back, because sometimes that part of your body can get a little hot and extra. Right under your kidneys or whatever.
San号，对吧？这个4号为准。
那里面来味道好像不是
很香哎。
So you see, he's just kind of gently burying her in there, doing his thing.
이번에 일어나시던 땀좀 봐봐요. 제대로 했다. 어? 아주 땀 제대로 났어.
那个脚跟下面，对，脚跟特别烫，尤其是我的右脚，左脚还可以，右脚受不了啊，脚对热就会动。 到这边因为脚烫，用力这么蛮着你，我现在起来也烫。
완전 기가 또 있어.
你一动这里一动就跑，是不是？动着시간이 많이 나.
But basic idea on this is twofold. One, you're creating an artificial fever and cooking pathogens out of your body. Well, it's actually threefold. Twofold, as you sweat, the microbes are entering into your body and building your natural immune system. And then threefold, that this is the heat is coming because the microbes are making love. And so you are immersing yourself literally in the vibration of love, which comes to us as infrared energy. And it's literal love. So this is how he's doing IMOs on a large scale here with this tractor to turn them after we're done. He's making this large scale because this gets mixed into the quail's food. He farms like 200,000 quails or something. And so all this, he does this on a weekly basis to make this much to feed the quails. So he's got it pretty automated with this nice tiller system to make sure he's turning the IMOs. And, and then the added benefit is you can go in for a bath, but this is how he's, turning the IMOs, and he'll come back, shovel it all into the center, but he uses this big IMO turning system. Keeps it nice, smelling nice, nothing about this. It's all aerobic happening. I think you'll go over it twice here, and maybe just once because we were already in there doing it. But yeah, just turning it to keep it going. But you see how much steam and heat's coming out of there. That's that's the basic IMO bath. And then there's more videos, there's more things on it. You can search around on my channel. Maybe even just search IMO bath and you might find that there as well. Oh, there's the office hours of us doing that live. So hopefully those can help you. I'll ask my wife what else, because she knows a few other things that worked for folks. And then Fox Dog here, sorry, I'm a ways back on this, but was wondering if you could use the liquid from ferments like tofu, sauerkraut as a substitute for making LAB. I noticed the liquid has a similar smell, guessing from the lactobacillus. And this is a great question. I was actually asked about this while we were on Maui. It's a great. So I'm gonna go to the LAB recipe here. Pull that up here, and then make sure I'm sharing that. And here's the LAB recipe here. Lactic acid, LAP, lactic acid probiotics is what I'm calling it. It's the protectors, right? So can you use it from sauerkraut or kimchi or these other things? And the difference is that in this Master Cho's recipe, you're putting out starch water, which is going to collect a very broad family of lactobacillus. And that very broad family is then put from the starch water is collected, is then put into the milk to kind of purify out and get rid of things that weren't the lactobacillus, because the starch water will collect all kinds of stuff from the air, more than just LAB, but the LAB will predominantly grow once you add it to the milk, and then it'll separate into the curds and the whey. So if I am using a lactobacillus that I've added a lot of salt to, like a sauerkraut or a kimchi, and I've added a bunch of salt, I have narrowed the family down of the lactobacillus. So this is super broad family lactobacillus by collecting it this way and then purifying it this way, versus what you're getting is a more narrow family. And so if you do it this way, you're going to get you're going to have more adaptable lactobacillus out there. And you can read there's like hundreds, like if we look up lactobacillus, I mean, so let's just look up lactobacillus here and pull up, like there's just all these, right? Different, I bet you if I click on this probiotic, it's going to list a whole bunch of them. Or no, maybe this just has lactobacillus acidophilus. So I wouldn't buy this one, nor would I ever buy it. But that one's just going to have one. Let's see. Thanks. We're not going to save 40% today. let's see, more products. Let's just look up these. Are these all acidophilus? Let's look up this one that supports women's vaginas because, that's important. Let's see, what is it going to say? Okay, yeah, here. So here, these are the lactobacilli that help women's vaginas. And you'll see it's 23 strains, 23 strain probiotic blend. So when you're going to collect these, and there's more than just, there's Lactobacillus helveticus, reuteri, Lactobacillus rhamnosus, Lactobacillus plantarum, Lactobacillus rhamnosus, acidophilus. There's all these Lactobacillus brevis, Lactobacillus lactis, Lactobacillus casei, Lactobacillus, they're just like listing all these. And so, this is just the case of for the woman's vagina, all this stuff is apparently necessary, but for your soil, it's even more diverse. So if you're just doing it with salt, you're probably going to have a narrower family. Like you might just, I don't know which lactobacillus it is, but you're probably going to have a narrower lactobacillus. But there's all these lactobacilli in that family. When you collect it out of the air, you get all those. So just showing this here where, you want to, and this controls, now we'll go back to this controls, it has cranberry. So, you can make a cranberry ferment here as well. Probably also be good for that zone. But, it helps control bacterial and yeast detox, right? So this is like if you got too much yeast or bacteria out there and you want to bring it back into balance, that's what the lactobacillus does. So the broader the family, the more effective it's going to be. So sure, you can use, kefirs, you can use yogurts, you can use all these certain things, but those are more narrow family. Whereas the recipe that Master Cho has given us, the whole point of this one is to get as broad a family as possible. So yes, you can use other things. In fact, if you have a whole bunch of them, use them, put them out in your garden, put them where you need them. They will work, but there's a reason to do this as well. So if you have that, use it, because what else are you going to do? I mean, put it in your compost pile, spray it on your land, do the right things, but realize this recipe has its specific niche for why Master Cho gave us this specific recipe and didn't just say, make sauerkraut and use that, right? Sure, you can get lactobacillus that way. In fact, you get lactobacillus in the fish amino acid recipe, the KNF fuel. You're getting lactobacillus. You're getting lactobacillus in the FPJ. You're getting, in the food. You're getting it in all his recipes. You're getting lactobacillus because, like it says right here, it's, lactobacillus are the most effective microbes in the Milky Way, right? It's kind of a joke, but it's also true. We're in the Milky Way. We're in the domain of lactobacillus. They're the most powerful. So learning how to cultivate, use them. They are the protectors of the galaxy. This is like your Marvel heroes are all different strains of lactobacillus. So getting as many of them to be present as possible. Hopefully that was, funny and you laughed a little bit. I don't know, but just for vaginal health, you need a whole bunch. It's like, yeah. So, hopefully that answers that. And then Foxdog also saying, wanted to use liquid to make bokashi to cut down the process time. Here you can use whey from cultured milk, guessing it's similar. To make bokashi. Yeah, I think the answer is yes. But hopefully you understand why what I just talked about. And man, now I'm way back on the chat and it just kicked down for me. I know everyone's been talking and I've been way up here and just like in the first questions, but thank you for being here live and we'll get to your questions. Okay, so IMO 4 bass, folded tie, yeah, okay. What's up from Poland? What's up, Andres? Andrew, we're just gonna call you Andrew. I know, I don't want to butcher your name. My tomatoes got blight. What is the proper treatment for this KNF with a KNF solution? Unfortunately, I don't have OHN yet. By the way, if I omit 1 or 2 ingredients in KNF recipe, yeah. So, great question, Andrew. We're just gonna call you Andrew. It's as close as I can get it because I'm probably gonna butcher it if I try and say it the way you say it. But if you come back up to the solutions here and you got blight, one of the best ones you can use is the KNF protectors. These guys, get them onto it. If you already have blight, hey, it's going to take a bit to get back, but early and often the protectors, if you notice in the leaf recipe here, when you are growing leaves, it has protectors in it because as you're growing leaves, you want to add protectors so that as your surface area happens, you're always filling that area with these great protectors and that you're not making a place for blight to establish. So if you're using these recipes and going through and making them and applying them properly, the blight probably shouldn't be a problem. But if you do have it, now the protectors also help against powdery mildew, those types of things. And yeah, so the protectors, the OHN is not necessarily going to help you with the blight at this point. The protectors definitely are. And if you can mix in a little bit of soap with the protectors, you'll get it right against the leaf surface and get it nice that way. And so highly recommend that at this point. And other question is, if you don't have some of these things, can you just continue to go anyway? Yes. So like say I don't have cleanser for some reason, or I don't have medicine for some reason, or I don't have structure for some reason, just use what you got and keep moving forward and keep trying to make these things. Because then eventually you'll get it and then you'll have these combos. And the whole reason to have all of them is that they bring balance. So if you don't have a few, it's fine, you're getting there, but you're going to be imbalanced. And then when you have them all, you'll come into balance. And then when you're balanced, you don't tend to get imbalanced and have issues. So hopefully all that makes sense and helps. And the blight, I was just talking on Maui with my, with a brethren, Stephen Drake. So what a cool dude, man. I had a great time chilling, talking with him. He took most of his afternoon to talk story with us, and it was just amazing. He was talking about growing wetland kalo taro in Lo'i, and he had so many tips on like how he's doing it. He is so tuned in. He's probably like one of the best kalo farmers I've ever talked story for that long with. That's for sure. And he was talking about blight, and he's at like in Lo'i systems, water flows through the patches and then flows back into the river, and other farmers are above him in his water supply, and then he's at the bottom. And so he's getting all the blight and all the fertilizer and all the pesticides and all the runoff the other farmers are doing coming down to him. And then he's doing natural farming down at the bottom, and he sprays lactobacillus onto his plants, and he doesn't even have blight. And all the other farmers are like, how come I have blight? And there's one part of his taro patch he doesn't treat, and it has blight, but then it doesn't spread to his other places, the rest of his taro. And he's like, he leaves that as a control just to show guys, like, I don't spray this part, I spray this part. How come it doesn't have blight? And the guys are like, oh, yeah. So he's trying to really change the mindset of people and let them know, like, KNF works. It works really well. And the mosaic virus, the blight that you get on kalo can be just devastating. But he doesn't have it because he uses lactobacilluses. So, yeah. So anyway, hopefully that helps. Yeah. Yeah, keeping rain off your tomatoes can help, but also if you're putting in the cleanser, if you're following the recipes in the cleanser builds up also a wax layer on your leaves, can also help prevent blight. I mean, that the whole recipe is actually, all the recipes are formulated to avoid all disease. Like every bit of it adds a bit to it, right? The food gives you the right nutrition. The cleanser helps with nutrition and not flushing things out. It also builds up wax layers. The medicine helps with digestion of the food, but also helps improve its immune system. The structure gives it the calcium phosphate it needs to build really good roots so it can supply the whole system and get more, naturally more things going. The fuel help the leaves grow and get bigger. The protectors are going to help it as it grows to mitigate any other pathogens and help break down any excess of anything. The minerals are going to help bring those trace deficiencies get rid of those, right? And then the reproduction is going to help everything move around in the plant. And of course, what's omitted from this chart right here is the microbes. And if you've already put the microbes in the soil, you're going to avoid all that as well. So the whole thing is formulated to avoid problems. So the better you can get to it, the better you can do it. So, and won't be bothering with sulfur this year, maybe next year. I would avoid the sulfur altogether. There's sulfur in the garlic, so making KNF medicine, you'll get that. And if you put the sulfur on your plants, then your produce will taste like sulfur, and it's really not a good idea. I just say don't do it at home. You saw last week when we watched it, and it exploded, and people got respiratory, stuff. It's like, oh my gosh. I only talk about that now because statute of limitations are out. Plus, I don't think I'm liable for that. They're on their own risk. Yeah, this is great ideas here. Okay, so yesterday I was reading a study from a university in Denmark where they said that practicing horticulture with soil rich in microorganisms substantially improved the immune system. Yes, Sal. Good to see you. Welcome. Got Brazil in the house. If you're growing in microbially rich soil, it should improve the whole immune system. Yes, correct. It's the whole point. So bathing yourself in it, improving your immune system, just saying maybe, assuming you got good IMOs. So, because they were saying, because the enormous diversity of microorganisms in contact with our skin. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for dropping this in the chat. That is amazing. What's up? We got Cheryl in the house. Oh, is it Father's Day? It's Father's Day. Yeah, thanks. Cheryl is always keeping me on track with my holidays. Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate you. All those fathers out there, and fathers to be, and fathers, and doing the right thing. So happy Father's Day. Thank you, Master Cho. Hope you're doing well out there. The father of natural farming. Okay. Yep. Okay, getting through this. Howdy. Northeastern Montana in the house. What's up? I think that's Montana, right? MT. Gotta be. How crucial is it to use specific KNF inputs, specifically listed growing stages? I have Matt Power's book, and it states to use during certain times. Yep. So if Matt Powers wrote a book, I don't think he's ever really studied with Master Cho, but maybe he's watched a bunch of videos, and maybe he's copied a lot of stuff that I did, because I copied some stuff off him. Maybe he copied some stuff off me. How important is it to use the right stuff at the right time? Well, let's just take it to be a real example here, which is how important is it to feed a baby food? How important is it to feed a teenager food? How important is it to feed an expecting mother food? How important is it to feed an old person food? If you ask me, it's pretty important. You can do it wrong, and they'll probably still live, but if you do it right, they're going to be even healthier. And that's where it comes down to doing the right stuff at the right time, right amount, right time, right attitude, right things. You're going to bring things into balance. If you're putting the right thing at the wrong time, you're going to imbalance it. And that is where this chart comes into play. And that's where it comes into play. So I'm glad that Matt Powers is learning about KNF and spreading the word and promulgating those things. Be cool to review his book and check it out. Make sure he's doing it right and all that stuff. But yeah, that's great. I'm glad. It's about time. That guy, he loves to write books. So, yeah, I'm glad he did it. So, in the garden, interesting, good to know. Okay, side of salt effects varieties. What's up? Cranberries for the UTI. Yeah, make a cranberry ferment and drink that thing. You're going to get even better. Make a plant juice out of it. Yep. What's up? Oh, we got Big Wes's lawn care. Looks like you're on your wife's phone. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yep. Okay, making sense. Thank you. Great. As to the blight, what proportions do you use? I also remember that you said to pay the police with food. Ain't using LAB on its own gonna be a problem. Yeah. So, okay. So asking what what proportions would I use? So I'll just go back to these proportions here because you can't go wrong with these proportions. You can tune them in to be a little bit better. So in the case where you got blight, you could increase your protectors up a little bit from 1 to 1,000. This is the general dilution. You could maybe go 6 milliliters per gallon. So 1 to, I don't know, 700, something like that. You could bring it up more, 1 to 500 even if you really wanted to. And yeah, if you notice, almost always, sometimes if you ask about a problem specifically, I'd say, oh, spray this one thing. But almost always you're spraying, it's not just one thing, you're spraying a whole thing across the line. So the better you can do this, the more you're going to keep it in balance. If you're just spraying one solution at a time, you can create imbalance. They're always used in combination. So if you just like, for you where you got the blight, I would pick this recipe right here and follow it as best as you can for the leaf solution. You got food, cleanser, medicine, structure, fuel, and protectors. Those are what you're going to need there to kind of fix that problem. And if you follow this recipe right across here, your plant will have enough energy to overcome the blight. The leaves it's going to drop from the blight will go away, and the fuel will help the plant to grow through that. But this recipe right here, the leaf formula, is what I would use for blight. And that's the one. So yeah, they're always used in combination. That way you're paying your protectors. And I used to call them the police, but I avoid calling them the police now because it's triggering for the young people. Sorry, young people. So just call them protectors. Same thing, doing the same function, but less triggering. Very important. You don't want to trigger the youth because, instead you want to give everyone a trophy. So if you're a youth out there, here's your trophy. Enjoy. Okay, so, yo, what's up, John P? Not farm related, but remember the time we rode to the top of your sister's SUV down to Warm Ponds Road? Oh, I still remember those times. I can't believe we didn't die. I remember somebody riding on the roof as we were driving like 60 miles an hour down on red roads. Oh, man. Bruh. I can't believe we didn't die. I tell my wife about that today. I'm like, bruh, you didn't even know what we used to do. Go down there, freaking passing a bottle of Hanabe around and get in a car and drive. Oh my gosh. Unreal. Yeah, I haven't seen Hars or texts lately, but unreal, bro. That was good times. I'm glad we lived through that one. And freaking going Oahu doing ranger training and all that, bro. I remember those days with, bro, I was looking at that the other day, Brett and all those guys. Oh my gosh. Unreal. I can't believe we lived through that. Made me a better person, I know that. So, what doesn't kill you makes you slightly stronger, if not maybe slightly dumber. Depends on what you live through. Oh, cool. Good times. Okay. So the last bit of here today, I did want to, I think we're finishing up Madaj. Shit. Oh, sorry, I got the book backwards. Madaj. I would just leave the sick leaves on. I would just leave them on. They still have nutrition. The plant will pull it out. The disease won't spread if you're putting the protectors on the other things. And I would treat it every other day for a week. So I would do like 3 to 4 treatments a week and just make sure that you're getting it super coated. But I'd leave the dead leaves on because the plant will pull nutrition out of them, and then as they shrivel and the disease will stop spreading. Most people think, oh, you got to stop the disease, you got to get it out, you got to quarantine it. Really bad idea. Yeah. So let's get into a bit of Madaj. We went through it. I think we're going to finish it up. Oh my gosh. Wow. For real. We went through last week. We did sulfur. We did soap on how to make those things. We watched the video. Also last week we had our monthly meeting for Pure KNF members, and was that fun. I should go over and just put a little teaser into here, but pureknf.org, we had Yarrow come talk to us, and oh my, was it fun. Speaking of good things and inspiring things, under membership, if I go to the monthly meetings, so you got to be a member to get in here. But Yarrow talked to us. And oh my gosh, it looks like this template got messed up. Okay, well, I'll have to go fix this because I'm not sure what happened to that. But yeah, Yarrow came, talked to us. Look at that huge sunflower he had growing. So inspiring to hear. Well worth it. Yeah, why did that get messed up? I will have to see. That's what you don't write good SOPs and other people mess with your WordPress. This is what happens. So, yeah, it was good fun. So that happened. So if you want to catch it, you can catch the video. I don't know why this is messed up right now, but you can check this video here, and there it is. And you can check out our monthly membership meeting. So if you join in, you can hear Yarrow here just talk about all this amazing stuff. And he was, working on some flowers you can't talk about on YouTube, and just transitioning from hydroponic to natural farming, and just the beauty of it, and just so inspiring just hearing Yarrow talk about that, and just him and his wife getting a new house, living in Idaho, doing all these things, making it work. So that happened last week as well. I'm not sure why that other page got messed up. More stuff for me to debug. Yay! Not only am I getting rid of bugs in the real world, I'm also doing it in the virtual world. So anyway, last week we got into Medalj. We did the sulfur. We did the soap. The last one for today is going into our Jadam, the microbe solution. Because this is the trifecta, right? You got the sulfur, you got the soap, you got the microbes. Those three together, are Youngsong's deal. So here is an example of making these Jadam microbe solutions. So what you do, you take water. Well, let's go to the book here for 1 second. We'll go to the book. And it's in my book here. I put it under this disgustingly cheap microbes, because to me, that's what it is. Making 5 gallons. You dilute it 1 to 10 before you use it. So this is a 50-gallon recipe from just making 5 gallons of water. You can scale this appropriately to any size you need. But it is water. It is rich indigenous soil. It is 1 cup of boiled starch. So potatoes work really well. He'll tell you to do it with potatoes. And it's some sea salt to add in flavor. Also changes to make it like liquid crystals, and all salt makes electric conductivity flow in the water and makes life happen. So, the most salt flourishes right in the estuaries, where is it estuaries? I think it is. Where fresh water is meeting salt water, right there. That zone's the most fertile zones on Earth, until we poison them with too much runoff from the land. But where you got diluted salt water, rich indigenous soil, and starches mixing in water, that's what you get. So you mix all these things together. You can basically just throw them in a blender, blend it up, put it in. If you follow Youngsong's method, he will tell you, oh, why did that go away? I wanted to do this like that. He'll tell you to put it in a sock or some sort of bag, and this is a paint strainer bag to contain these things, and dangle it in, so it just kind of tea bags into there. I find you can just throw it straight in the water without the tea bag. It's not necessary. But what happens is the water starts to bubble. And this is super active batch, means there was the right amount of microbes and stuff. And this is, you see how it's pulling away from the edge here? This one is perfect to use. It's this bubbly, it's ready to go. If you wait longer on this, it will start to smell like dead bodies and rotting. And that is not what you want. So you got to use, the one thing about this is it has an extremely short shelf life. Try to say that one fast. And so you got to just use it. So you can make microbes super easy. These are not as robust as Master Cho's methods, going through the seed IMO, the propagated IMO, the activated IMO. This is the quick, dirty, disgustingly cheap ways. But you can do this in 24 hours. You can get microbes out on your land. You can put these into your soil. I do not recommend putting yourself in these. Don't drink this. Don't get it on your skin. Don't get it in your eyes. Be careful when you're spraying. Use PPE, all those things, because these are disgustingly cheap, but it couldn't be easier. You can do this today, have it ready tomorrow or the next day, dilute it, dump it, and get life back into the worst of lands. and have it start to come back to life. So this here is highly recommended of starting with. So so I think with why don't we watch, let's see here. So why don't we watch Young Song Cho teach about this. So let me see. Yeah, go to this drive. And oh, you know what? It's also well, yeah, maybe we'll just do it off the YouTube channel. Let's just go YouTube. It always starts with this video. I don't know why. It's my anyway, go to my channel here, view my channel. And coming down. Where is it? These courses. Cheap KNF with Young Song Cho. Let's go to the playlist here, making the soaps, sulfur, and the wetting agent. So this is the video we were watching the other day, and this one was the. Let's make this bigger like that. Come on. Watching it over the network. But this is where we made the soap, the sulfur, and then at the very end, Young Song Cho here is going to be making the microbes. So if you tuned in last week, you saw this. We went over this. I think we watched slightly better videos. After he's done making the soap, let's see. Did I cut off the microbe part? We'll see.
And under the current legal system, using GMO oil for those kind of product is not regulated. It's okay.
Did we do that?
지금 점심시간이 걸리는데 여기서 좀 분석 마무리하고 지금 지속적 인터뷰를 진행하도록 하겠습니다. 여러분 고맙습니다.
Oh, he's done? Oh, don't be done. It's the wrong one. We're gonna watch it. Oh no, I should have queued this up ahead of time, but let's see. I'll go find it then. Why not? Let's take the extra time to go find the video that I knew I was looking for. We'll spin this drive up. Let's see, will it let me get in there? Yeah. What was it? 2016 Jadam, Big Island. Let's see here. And we'll see. Down. What movie was it? This one. Let's see. No, that was doing something else. Oh, okay. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I should have queued this up better and gone over it a bit better. No, that's us doing fire ants. We made a solution for fire ants while he was here. That's Ray cooking. Let's see. This was a whole different thing even. Oh, and then these are just going to be those other ones. Okay. Well, okay. Anyway, do I have another one of doing the JMS better? Maybe. Let's just go to the channel and search for JMS and see what we get. That's me talking about it from office hours. Is there one of us making it? Ultra low cost IMO starch microbe solution. Let's see.
What we've been doing in natural
I'm
farming.
gonna cut this off. See, is there a video of us making it? How to dilute. How long, Mr. Thing? Gather, proof concept. Well, there's plenty of videos out on there. I mean, you could even go to jadam.kr, and I think I gotta start that with an EN and go look at their thing, and they'll show you. I just probably can't watch this video put this. Oh, I can't even search because I'm not a member. Well, let's just do this. But the basic idea is this is so easy. If how many people in the chat have done it? I bet you everybody. Here's somebody that's not even them talking about it. Other people, because it's open source, right? So everybody Everybody can do it. Here's somebody else talking about it, Mindfully Rooted. I don't even know who these folks are. But here's their explanation. You know, leaf mold, that's a really bad thing. Rocks the way down the bag. You don't, a lot of the stuff you don't need. Seawater, you can just make it from salt. Stick for suspension, you don't even need that. But here's their video. Let's see. Here's a video of them doing. Oh no, if I watch this, we're gonna get copyright struck. There's him talking about it. You know. Yeah, no, we can't watch other people's videos. I learned about that. For educational purposes, fair use, but you can't watch it. No, you can't. Yeah, so anyway, there's a bunch of videos. Just search for it, find it. You know, some people, their mileage may vary. Maybe it's better, maybe it's worse. But you'll find it. It's in here. It's basically, this is what's in the recipe, you know. Make some potato starch. And I was saying, make the potato starch and just blend it up in a blender. You know, and put it in there. It's a lot easier than dangling the bags. You don't, no need to ruin an old sock. Just put all that stuff in the water. Works perfectly. I know I do have a video on my channel where I'm doing this. Let me pull that up. Let's close that and let's go Tale of Two. Search this because I know here a Tale of Two T's. So this was, I was comparing
Alright, so
mute this, but I started off at my house and I was doing a what do you call, a like aerobic tea that I did with Master Cho's, and I blended this and made an aerobic tea for a while, and then I got out to the papaya field, and this was a JMS Jadam one, and kind of an anaerobic process. It's not anaerobic because there's a lot of oxygen in the water. It's when it goes anaerobic that it goes bad. So a lot of people will be like, Jadam's anaerobic. It's not in this case for the microbe solution. This is actually an aerobic solution. Believe it or not, it's using that excess oxygen that's in the water, and then it becomes anaerobic when it starts to smell like crap. But do you see all the bubbles? This is a good active batch. You can actively see it bubbling. Let's go back and see. This other batch here. Is it bubbling? Yeah, so it'll show you want to use it while it's bubbling, while it's active, while it's pulling off the edge, and it's actively bubbling. So you can see me kind of pointing at it and talking about that bubbling. Once it stops bubbling and the bubbles collapse, then it's going anaerobic. So people will be like, Jadam's anaerobic. It's not. Sorry to burst your bubble on that. The disgustingly cheap food is putrefying, and that's probably anaerobic. But so is, you know, anaerobic's not aerobic versus anaerobic. We gotta, you know, but there, yeah, you see how it's bubbling and it's looking nice. That's what you're wanting. Living life, not the zombie apocalypse putrefaction happening. So when it's ready, this is what I'm looking for when it's ready. Like this is like, okay, so you see nice bubble pull off the edge, it's bubbling. This in the middle is just because these barrels were kind of gnarly. But tons of potatoes, and I think I did put them in a sack, but I learned later, you don't need this sack. I was just copying what I was told and put it in a sack, but you don't even need this sack. Sack is superfluous. Nice bubbles like this, still active, still going. This is when you want to use it. You wait longer, it'll smell like death, and that's when you don't want to use it. So that's the main thing I wanted to show you through the video. Like making it, you just make it. You just throw all those things in a bucket, swirl it around, call it a day, leave it in the shade. You can cover it, you don't cover it, doesn't matter. And then when it's bubbly like that, then you dilute this a bit more and done it. So I've almost done JMS right now. Cool. Right on, Karen. That's great. You know, it's a great way to get started. If you don't know what you're doing with microbes, it's a great way to get started. I eventually recommend you go up to the aerobic bubbling teas like Master Cho's things and doing that with making IMO4. There's all these reasons and all these acronyms that I could throw at you and things, but this is a great starting point. If you haven't started here, you probably should. And it's like, you know, it's like learning to walk before you run, before you skydive or whatever. If you can't walk, you probably shouldn't skydive, right? So starting there. So yeah, do labs and labs. Labs are your friend. Combine labs with these microbes while you're putting them out there, and this is going to correct most of your problems and all those things. So Anyway, I hope with just that partial like jumping around JMS type of thing, to me the most thing is to know when it's ready, when it's done. And when it's overdone, it'll just, the smell will change. It'll start to smell like poop and death or rotten eggs or dead animals. And just when it's ready, dilute it more, 1 to 10, 1 to 20, somewhere in there, and dump it out. Or just, I don't recommend spraying it out unless you're wearing goggles and face protection, because these microbes are gnarly. You don't want to get them in you. It's unlike the Master Cho's microbes. They're different. They're not the same. It's like, yeah, anyway, there's a bunch of analogies I could get into, but basic idea is dump and drench this. And Young Sung will be like, jaw, like being like, just drench your top foot or so of soil with this. The more water, the better. The more microbes, the better in that top. And then it'll just kickstart everything going to work. So there's a lot of theory on this. There's a lot of things I can get into, but I'm just going to leave it with that. Maybe if there's more special requests to go into things, I might get into further Madaj topics, but those are the basics. I think I covered majority of it. Maybe I didn't go over the herbal solution. Maybe that's the one last thing to do. But yeah, I think we're hopefully getting towards the end of that, because I'd rather talk about Master Cho's things, to be honest. They're so much better. But for completeness, going through Madaj, bringing it to you, doing it office hours. Thanks for tuning in. 10 o'clock here for me, so I'm going to go deal with a bunch of things that broke while I'm gone, fix those things, keep my farm operating fresh, so clean. Thanks. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, thank you. I'll see you next week. I'll be here June, what is it? June plus the 23rd. Oh, the 23rd. Oh my gosh. Cool. All right. Well, I'll see you. Have a great week. Long live the natural farmer. Remember, make your character good, follow the thing, improve yourself, gather together, turn yourself into a leader, guide everyone around you towards the good things, because you yourself are doing the righteous things on the righteous path. Love you all. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go to this and then get out. Shoots. Love you. Bye.